Hey friends, welcome back to a new video. We all want less clutter and less stress and more time and more space in our homes. And often decluttering is something that we do to achieve this more peace of mind. But often I see decluttering kind of done wrong in a way that won't help us achieve that freedom and that peace of mind and all those good things that we want. So today I wanted to share with you a few scenarios that I've witnessed in which people declutter that I don't think are helpful when it comes to achieving a more peaceful, balanced life, in order to help you to also avoid these mistakes and maybe be a little bit more aware when it comes to decluttering. Before we continue on with the video, if you care about intentional living, simple living, if you want to create more freedom and peace and space in your life, then be sure to subscribe because I do more videos on minimalism, on simple living. My motto is have less, eat better, and live more. And if that speaks to you, then be sure to stick around for more really nice videos of me. So the number one scenario or reason I see people declutter is in order to have more closet space. Now, decluttering because you have too many clothes is a good thing, but decluttering to have more closet space is not such a great thing. So the difference here is that in the first scenario, you have too many clothes and you realize this and you'd like to have or own less clothes. So you go through them and declutter the ones that just do not spark joy, do not serve a purpose. And with the latter, it's all about creating more space, most often to add more and new things to your wardrobe. So the underlying reason here to declutter is to buy more, to buy new things, to buy different things. So basically the decluttering is just making more space for more consumerism. Now, this does not help in our overall goal of achieving more peace and having less stuff and having more of a peace of mind. It just fuels into this constantly ongoing cycle of consumerism. Even though buying more might not be the initial reason that you declutter your closet, once you have that additional space, you most likely will have the feeling and the urge to fill that space with new stuff. This is because the stuff and the clutter is just the symptom of the problem. The problem is actually buying all that stuff and the consumerism. So we have to tackle the problem at the root and not at the symptom. So only decluttering will not help us solve the problem. When you have a tub that is overflowing with water, your solution is not to scoop away the overflowing water, but to actually turn off the tap. So we have to tackle consumerism at the core. We have to look at our mindsets, look at our spending habits, maybe place new rules, change up the way you go about your day, you go about your relationship to items. And it is definitely a difficult process to change your mindset and to change your view on buying things, your relationship to buying things, but that is the most important thing when it comes to having more of a simplified and minimalistic life, to actually tackle the shopping and the consumption rather than so much the decluttering. And I think a lot of times the emphasis can be so strongly on the decluttering that we forget that is actually just the symptom of the problem. Another scenario I see people declutter is when they're tired of their old stuff or they want to renew or redecorate. Now, there's not necessarily anything wrong with that inherently, but calling it decluttering kind of makes it seem like we're trying to pare down to own less stuff. But if we're honest with ourselves, we're not really decluttering to own less. Again, similar to the one before, we're decluttering to make space for new stuff that is about to come in. So I think the first step here is also to be honest with ourselves, to be honest with what we're actually doing and with what our actual goal is, and to be very aware of our actions. So if you are in a place where you want to renew stuff, where you want to replace things that you're tired of, be honest with yourself and name it as it is, and that way you can be more conscious about your purchases and about what you're actually doing to your space, what you're actually buying, and just to go about the whole process more intentionally, which is a very important word in simple living and minimalism: intentionality. Another situation I see people often declutter is when their stuff has a used condition. Now, if something's absolutely broken, then go ahead and declutter it. There's no use in holding onto stuff that is broken and that cannot serve its purpose properly. But if something just has a little bit of a used look or has a tiny hole somewhere, I really encourage you to try to fix it first. So if it's maybe clothing, try to mend it. I've mended so many more clothes, and it just extends the life and the longevity of the item. Sadly, we live in a throwaway society where it's so much easier to buy something new because we just live in such excess, and sometimes buying the thing new can even be cheaper than spending time and investing in mending your things. But I really feel like if you take your time to mend things, it also changes your mindset and your perspective a little bit. You put more value into your things and you take care of your things more, instead of having the mindset of, oh well, if it's broken, I can just replace it with a new one. And I think we often don't realize that the things that we buy and we own have to come from somewhere. It has to be produced by someone, and the materials have to come from somewhere. And if we're not the one putting the time and the effort into mending things or sewing things, then someone else is doing that. And the materials have to come from nature. And all these resources are finite resources, and we cannot all be going about our lives and our days consuming so much and just throwing away and replacing in such a rapid rate, because going down this road, we're going to exhaust our planet, or we've actually already exhausted our planet. And I think we just need to change our mindset, have a different mindset, and put more value and effort and attention to the things we already have, and take care of that as much as possible before decluttering so quickly, because you think, well, I can just buy it again if I really need it, or I can just replace it so easily with a click of a button from the comfort of your home. I also often see a lot of people declutter because they're moving. Now, that's in itself not a bad thing. I also declutter when I'm moving because it just makes sense. You have to go through everything anyways. So why not take the opportunity while you're going through every single thing to reassess if you actually really need this, or if it actually really sparks joy. So it's a great opportunity to try to pare down and minimize the things that you have. But I do often see people declutter when they're moving with the purpose of renewing their stuff once they get to their new place. Now, I totally understand the want to start fresh in a sense, but again, we do have to think about all the resources and also the money that you have to actually put in, and money that you earned with your precious time. So here again, the reason for decluttering is not aligned with minimalism, but actually aligned with even more consumerism. And this does not help us achieve the less anxiety and the more space and time and freedom that we want from minimalism. I also feel like decluttering is such a trend. You can see it in so many videos of people decluttering and cleaning out, and I totally understand that to be very therapeutic or motivational for other people that are watching. I also understand the want to get rid of all that stuff and all that excess that is weighing on us subconsciously or consciously. But again, I think a lot of the times people are going about things wrong. They're tackling the symptom with the belief that they're solving the issue. But if we don't take a look at our spending habits and our consumerism and how our mindset is actually wired, we are not actually solving the problem. We're just discarding and then buying new, and the cycle continues. And it's actually even worse because now we have this excuse of decluttering to buy new. Decluttering is supposed to be this positive thing, and then we have this added space, and then we're buying new stuff. So we really have to be careful of why are we decluttering. Are we decluttering because we want new stuff, because we want to scratch that itch of buying new stuff, or are we decluttering because we really want to downsize our belongings and downsize what we own, which is the true purpose of minimalism, to be super intentional with your time, with your money, with your space, and to only bring things into your life that truly have meaning and value and purpose in your life. And we have to be very intentional and very critical when it comes to things like that. So I'm actually someone that don't enjoys decluttering, because I know that all the stuff that I'm getting rid of is stuff that I kind of bought wrongly and now it will just be tossed away. And yes, a lot of people say, well, I'm donating this. To be honest, a lot of donation centers have too much already, and it's not super helpful, and a lot of clothes are just shipped into third world countries that are piling up there and not processed and thrown away and recycled properly. And it is kind of like this whole greenwashing thing. We're telling ourselves that we're decluttering for a good cause, but actually oftentimes it's kind of like wish cycling, which feels like you're doing something good and purpose and meaningful with the item, but actually you're not. Now, don't get me wrong, decluttering is definitely important when it comes to minimalism, when it comes to downsizing your home. We just have to do it in a very intentional way and be very honest with ourselves what we're doing here, and to tackle our mindset and to change our mindset to shop less, to consume less. And a way by doing that is also to interact with more like-minded people that are going through minimalism, and to watch a video like this, so you're already taking that first step. And I also think we just really have to shift our mindset from this consumerism and buying more to feel that sense of rush, to feel that sense of joy, to constantly want more, and to shift that into more of an abundance mindset. I know that can be difficult, and I struggle with that as well, but to actually look around and realize how rich we are with the things that we have, the home that we have, the food that we have all that we could possibly want, but still somehow we want more and we crave more. And something we can maybe reflect about, journal about. And again, this changing your mindset is something that does not necessarily happen overnight. It is a process, so do be patient with yourself, but it is very helpful to keep all these things in mind. And to keep in mind that declutter is often just a symptom of the problem, and just tackling the symptom alone is definitely not enough if you do want all the benefits of minimalism, of simple living, intentional living. So I hope this video helped and inspired you to not only declutter, but also to take a look at your shopping habits, your spending habits, your mindset, and hopefully this video can save you some pain and some time and some trouble. And yeah, so if you enjoyed it, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos on simple and healthy living. So thank you so much for spending your time with me. I'm so grateful that you're here. I appreciate you all so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.